Hare Krishna. This is the Appearance Day celebration of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And all around the world, disciples and followers of Prabhupada are offering praise and glory and making special attention to honor his Appearance Day. There's fasting, and then there'll be a nice feast. There's chanting, and devotees are making personal offerings of their own heartfelt appreciation of His Divine Grace, pure devotee. And also they're reading about his activities and his personality, his characteristics, and the wonderful exchanges that he had with his disciples. And also some of his writings. He actually wrote a lot of poems and prayers. And this particular one was before he left for the United States. This was written in 1961 when Prabhupada was in the Radha-Damodara temple in Vrndavana, preparing to leave India. He was translating and writing and praying for the Lord's mercy. And this is called Vaisistya Astaka. And this is his prayers. So this is part 1. On that day, O my Master, I made a cry of grief. I was not able to tolerate the absence of you, my Guru. On this auspicious day, I've come with this offering just to worship you, remembering your lotus feet. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's judgment is that renunciation is the most important thing. Not only that, but knowledge of such renunciation must be delivered to every living being. The beginner in devotional service has no ability to do this properly. But you are a Mahabhagavata. You have given us direction. If one is bewildered by ignorance, what kind of renunciant can he be? He will only be a Palgu Vairagi, renouncing externally. The renunciation is actually the result of real spiritual emotion. Without such feeling, it is simply known as show bottle. But there's another show bottle for the purpose of preaching, and that is the Lord's sannyas, by which the Mayavadis are converted. Lord Chaitanya's philosophy is beyond Varnashram Dharma. It's Bhagavat Dharma, and is meant for putting an end to all cheating process of religion. In performing dry renunciation, there can be no real preaching. Therefore, Yukta Vairag is given as the highest essential understanding. The sannyas which you have given us is for preaching in devotion. The faithless sense enjoyers are not able to understand this. Part 2. Generally, the sannyas renounces everything to go and stay in mountain caves. But you, O Master, keep your sannyas in mansions of marble. To see a sense enjoyer is like drinking poison, but you, O my Master, go far and near, even abroad, to give them your darshan. Mlechas and yavanas are forbidden to enter the Hindu temples, but you, my Lord, make them the chairmen and sit them in the assembly of devotees. Hindus are not allowed to cross the ocean, but you send your devotees overseas to preach. In the cities of Kali Yuga, the instructions of bona fide spiritual preceptors are forbidden, Still, you remain there in any way possible. The devotees want to hide in a secluded place to perform their bhajan. You, however, do not accept this in your judgment. Wherever there is an increase in the population, in that place the preaching work is to be found. In London, you want a student hostel. You explain that it must be very first class. In the land of barbarians, a student hostel for preaching Hari Katha. Who can understand the significance of these things? To resolve all these apparently contradictory statements is not the play of some incompetent fool. Part 3. If everyone simply sat down together and considered these things, then what nice preaching there could be. That is your order also, that everyone coming together should merge in your message and preach it to the world. If everyone simply imitates, then there will only be a contradictory result. As long as it goes on, there will only be failure. Even now, my God brothers, you return here in the order of our Master, and together we engage in his puja. But simply a festival of flowers and fruits does not constitute worship. The one who serves the message of the Guru really worships him. The service of the message is the real meaning of the Vedas. Don't be proud, brothers. Come back to this. Kalidas Nag, a learned man who was defeated in debate by Bhaktivedanta Saraswati and later became his disciple. That master said in public forum one day that Kali's mission was to kill all the entire world while the essential meaning of Lord Chaitanya's message was kept locked in a cage. Oh shame, my dear brothers, aren't you embarrassed? In the manner of businessmen, you increase your disciples. Our spiritual master said to preach. Let the neophytes remain inside the temples and simply ring the bells. Text 4. All these things are not our spiritual master's preaching methods. These are all the things done by caste Goswamis. But just take a good look at the terrible situation that has arisen. Everyone's become a sense enjoyer and has given up preaching. In the temples also they have begun to lock the doors. Preach this Bhagavad Dharma. Don't hesitate. Within this world there is another world, whose sound is the unequaled penetrating force. The preaching that the mala only goes as far as the mosque and no further should be put to an end today. From the seas, across the earth, penetrate the universal shell. Come together, preach the Krishna consciousness. Then our Master's service will be in proper order. Make your promise today. All of you get together, decide what should be done. You have become renouncers, brothers, so renounce everything. But if you also renounce the order of your spiritual master, then what kind of renunciation is that? The one who renounces his Guru's order, Guru Tyagi, and the one who tries to enjoy the assets of his spiritual master, Guru Bhogi, are two types of useless persons. First become a servant of your spiritual master, Guru Sevi, then you will understand all these things clearly. Part 5. If there is only one Supreme Lord, then a true sadhu, even if his wealth increases, gives up his desire for profit, adoration, and prestige in this material world. Your gold brother is the father of sense gratification. This meaningful statement was spoken by Prabhupada himself. Give up your wealth for preaching. Sit down together, make a special effort to come to a decision. Supreme Lord says that everything is his. Don't protest, just unite and preach. Srila Prabhupada gave this final message himself. Take great care to do that completely and in all respects. Otherwise your sannyas will be wasted and useless. O saintly ones, be careful, otherwise afterwards you will regret. So what is the difficulty for all of us to come together in this way? And why do all these things even have to be said to you? Give up your stubbornness. There's no time. Come, all my brothers, on this auspicious, holy occasion. Part 6. When will the day come when there will be a temple established in every house, in every corner of the world? When the High Court judge will be a Gaudiya Vaishnava with tilak beautifully decorating his face? When a Vaishnava winning votes will be elected president of the land and preaching will be spread everywhere? The demons simply plunder the Lord's wealth, and the helpless populace cries, "Ah!" in distress. The demons want so many plans just to cheat the people. They sell cheap flour at 32 rupees a mound. Will opening a factory fill a hungry man's belly? Being oppressed by starvation, they will eat grass in mango pits. Wearing a 2-pi string, a man is called a Brahmin. Wearing a saffron cloth, he's become a sannyasi. The householders beg from the sannyasis. And why not? The sannyasis have tens of millions of rupees in the bank. As the days pass, the influence of Kali Yuga increases, and the poor jivas are crying in distress. 10,000 cows are killed daily, and the nation's expert leaders are all eating untouchable foodstuffs. People of muddy intelligence increase day by day. A man and his wife separate simply on a mere word. Everyone has become a witch by the influence of the age. Everyone's unhappy due to the absence of the mercy of the Vaishnavas. Number 7. The Vaishnavas are famous as Paradukkha-dukhi. This fame will increase as the preaching increases. If eternally pure devotional service to Krishna is awakened in everyone, then Kali will flee, screaming of his own accord. Praninam upakaraya. Do work for the benefit of all living beings. This is Mahaprabhu's teaching. This is the storehouse of happiness in this life and the next. So, which work has fallen into your hands? Gather together and do it. Vasudeva Dutt said to the Lord, paying his obeisances, "Save all the living beings in the material world. Give all their sins and sufferings to me, who am the lowest of all. In this way, all the miseries of the suffering-conditioned souls will end." He was the best of Vaishnavas, Paradukkha-dukhi. He knew that there is no real happiness in satisfying the senses. What kind of mercy can the non-Vaishnav have? He simply makes offenses by his Daridra-Narayan philosophy. The mercy of the Vaishnavas is scientific and authorized. Without Vaishnav mercy, this world is simply insurmountable Maya. If there's a kingdom of Vishnu and Vaishnavas on the surface of the earth, then the world will be happy. So say all the great sages and rishis. And that is Prabhupada's prayer, Vaisistya Astaka. It appears to have been composed, I don't know this for sure, on the appearance day of Bhaktivedanta. It appears to be. So, he's making appeal to his godbrothers to work together for the preaching. That was 1961, and he was meditating in Radha-Damodara temple and translating the Bhagavatam and preparing to come to the West. All glories to Shrila Prabhupada.